Have you ever wondered how the story of Africa, the cradle of humanity, began? Let's embark on a journey back in time, to the origins of this vast and diverse continent. Our narrative starts in the East African Rift Valley, often considered the birthplace of humanity itself. This is where the earliest hominids, our distant ancestors, first walked upright and began to master the art of making tools. Over time, these early humans evolved, learned, and spread across the continent, marking the dawn of a new era. As centuries passed, early civilizations began to take root. One of the first was the Kingdom of Kush, nestled in the fertile lands of what is now Sudan. The Kushites were renowned for their skill in ironworking and their formidable archers. They built cities of brick and stone, leaving a lasting legacy in the annals of history. Further to the north, along the banks of the Great Nile River, another civilization was blossoming: ancient Egypt. This civilization, renowned for its pyramids, hieroglyphs, and pharaohs, was a beacon of knowledge and innovation. The Nile's annual floods provided fertile soil, leading to prosperous agriculture and the growth of a civilization that would last for over 3,000 years. Yet, it wasn't just the Nile that shaped Africa. The Sahara Desert played a crucial role too. The world's largest hot desert, it acted as a natural barrier, fostering unique cultures in isolation and driving trade and migration routes around its edges. It was a harsh, yet influential teacher, molding societies that could endure and thrive in its challenging conditions. As we journey through this early history, we see a continent that was far from a silent, passive landscape. It was a dynamic, thriving stage where humanity began, civilizations rose, cultures evolved, and societies learned to adapt and flourish. It was and still is a place of innovation, resilience, and diversity. Thus, the stage was set for a continent rich in history, culture, and diversity. As we move forward in our journey, we'll delve deeper into the vast tapestry that is Africa's story, exploring its medieval period, colonial era, and the modern age. But that's a tale for another time. In the Middle Ages, Africa was a hub of trade, knowledge, and power. But what happened next? The Middle Ages saw the birth of trans-Saharan trade routes, which became the lifeblood of several African societies. These trade routes weren't just about exchanging goods. They were also about sharing ideas, knowledge, and culture. As merchants crisscrossed the Sahara on camelback, they not only traded gold, salt, and other goods, but also spread Islam, which eventually took root and flourished in many parts of Africa. The spread of Islam gave rise to powerful kingdoms like Mali and Songhai. These kingdoms were renowned for their wealth and knowledge. The University of Timbuktu, for instance, was an intellectual beacon, attracting scholars from far and wide. But things took a turn with the arrival of Europeans in the 15th century. The Europeans were initially attracted by Africa's wealth of resources, but soon their interest took a dark turn. The slave trade began, and millions of Africans were forcibly taken to the Americas and Europe. This was a period of great turmoil and suffering for Africa. The slave trade eventually gave way to colonization. European powers like Britain, France, and Portugal divided Africa among themselves in what came to be known as the Scramble for Africa. For close to a century, the colonial masters exploited Africa's resources and people, leaving a trail of economic, political, and social disruption in their wake. The colonial era was a dark chapter in Africa's history. But it's important to remember that it wasn't just about suffering and exploitation. It was also a time of resistance and resilience. Africans fought against the colonial rule, preserved their cultures, and held on to their identities. The colonial era left a lasting impact on Africa, but the spirit of the people remained unbroken. They endured, they resisted, and they survived, paving the way for the next chapter in Africa's history, the fight for independence. The winds of change began to blow in the 20th century. How did Africa reclaim its destiny? As the world began to awaken to the ideals of liberty and self-determination, Africa too was stirred. The mid-20th century saw the continent embroiled in a fierce struggle for independence, an epoch-making period that would redefine its destiny. At the forefront of this struggle were visionaries like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana and Nelson Mandela of South Africa. Nkrumah, dubbed the Star of Africa, championed the cause of African unity and was instrumental in the decolonization of the continent. Nelson Mandela, on the other hand, fought relentlessly against apartheid, a battle that would eventually dismantle the oppressive system and elevate him to the status of a global icon of resistance. Their efforts, and those of countless others, ushered in a new era of autonomy and self-governance. Out of this spirit of unity and shared purpose, the African Union was born. Established in the early years of the 21st century, this organization stands as a beacon of African solidarity, promoting peace, security, and an integrated, prosperous Africa. Yet the journey towards a fully independent and prosperous Africa has not been without its challenges. From grappling with economic disparities, political instability, and social inequality, to confronting health crises and environmental threats, Africa has had to navigate a complex and often turbulent path. And despite these obstacles, Africa has made remarkable strides. Today it's a continent on the rise, with some of the world's fastest growing economies. Its vibrant cultures, rich resources, and youthful population are driving a wave of innovation and growth that is setting the stage for a promising future. The story of modern Africa is one of resilience and transformation. It's a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people who, against all odds, have continued to shape their destiny. They've turned the page on a painful past and are now writing a new chapter, one of hope, ambition, and an unwavering belief in a better tomorrow. From the ashes of the past, a new Africa was born, ready to face the future. Africa is a mosaic of cultures, languages, and peoples. What makes this diversity so unique? Let's dive in. Imagine a continent with over 2,000 languages, spoken by more than 1 billion people. That's Africa for you. Each country, each tribe, each community has its own unique language, contributing to the rich linguistic tapestry. Religion, too, plays a significant role in the cultural landscape of Africa. From the ancient Egyptian beliefs to the spread of Christianity and Islam to the indigenous faiths that still persist today, spiritual beliefs are woven into the fabric of everyday life. And then there's the art, the music, the dance. These aren't just forms of entertainment. They're means of expression, of storytelling, of preserving history. The rhythmic drum beats, the intricate dance moves, the vibrant paintings and sculptures, they all have a story to tell, a memory to preserve, a tradition to uphold. But culture in Africa isn't just about language, religion, or art. It's about community. It's about kinship ties, about belonging to something larger than oneself. In many African societies, the concept of Ubuntu is prevalent. It's a philosophy that emphasizes the importance of community over the individual. It's about understanding that one's actions affect not just oneself, but the entire community. It's about recognizing that we are all interconnected, that we are all part of the same human family. And it's this sense of community, of interconnectedness, that makes African cultures so unique. It's this understanding that despite the diversity, despite the differences, there's a common thread that binds everyone together. It's the understanding that in diversity, there's unity. In diversity, there's strength. So next time you think of Africa, think of it not just as a continent, but as a vibrant tapestry of cultures, each with its own unique story to tell. Because in the heart of Africa, you'll find a vibrant tapestry of cultures, each with its own unique story to tell. Africa today is a continent on the move. But what does the future hold? As we step into the present, we find Africa standing tall in the global arena. This continent, rich in natural resources, is a significant player in the world economy. From gold to diamonds, oil to cocoa, Africa's wealth lies beneath its soil and within its seas. A new dawn is breaking in Africa, one that is being fueled by burgeoning industries. From telecommunications to tourism, manufacturing to digital finance, Africa is embracing the winds of change. The continent is carving out its niche, setting new trends and making its mark. But like any other region, Africa too faces its share of challenges. Issues of poverty, political instability, and environmental concerns persist. Yet the spirit of Africa remains unbroken. Its people are resilient, their resolve unshakable. The real game changers, however, are Africa's youth. They are the future, the torchbearers of change. With over 60% of the population under the age of 25, the continent's destiny is in the hands of its dynamic, ambitious, and innovative young people. Technology and innovation are playing a crucial role in shaping Africa's future. From mobile banking transforming economies to tech startups solving local problems, Africa is becoming a hub of technological advancement. It's not just about catching up with the rest of the world, it's about leapfrogging over conventional hurdles and charting a unique path forward. This is the Africa of today, a continent that is not just surviving, but thriving. A continent that is not just dreaming, but achieving. A continent that is not just promising, but delivering. So what does the future hold for Africa? It holds potential, it holds promise, it holds the power of a young generation ready to shape their destiny and redefine the world's perception of this vibrant continent. With its rich history, diverse cultures, and dynamic youth, Africa is a continent full of potential and promise.